Hi, thank you for joining us. We just wanted to give you a quick overview and some background information about our new blog, Sisterly Suggestions, and why we decided it's a necessary tool to talk about self-care and self-preservation. So we're just going to give you some highlights. Stay tuned. When we were considering the idea of collaborating on a project, we knew we wanted to do something that was, actionable content. We knew we wanted something that would be useful to women. And we kind of went back and forth because we have so many loves. We love, fashion and beauty and lifestyle and a lot of different items that are, interesting topics to talk about. But what we really landed on was self-care. And mainly for myself, the reason why I kind of voted for the self-care topic was because I think about how much I've changed as a person and how I haven't been taking care of myself as well as I used to, being a new mom of two toddlers and a wife and still working. And so with all those things considered, I said, maybe this is an opportunity for me to be more actionable about the steps I'm taking for myself and also share those tips and tools with other people who are in similar positions and give them some more insight as to how to incorporate self-care in a really busy, really like draining life typically when you're running after toddlers and you're not thinking about yourself so much. Just to realize that it's not a selfish act and it's really a necessity and how to incorporate that with the time constraints that you have. And so that was my main reason for wanting to self-care.
As for me, I remember this quote that I heard that said, "No one is going to save you." And when I reflect on my life, I've always been super busy doing a million things at once, 14 working a job, in college working 3 jobs, in my professional career also going to school part-time. And busy just really meant that I wasn't taking care of myself. Of course, I'm vegan. Of course, I work out. Of course, I go to therapy, but I wasn't really taking care of me. I was so busy doing that I wasn't being, and I wasn't really embracing what it meant to be a human being. And I just knew that I had to do something different and that only I would be able to save myself from, the lack of care that I was giving myself. And so when we talked about doing a self-care blog, I was super excited because it was in line with my personal goals to start this journey. And I wanted to be able to get suggestions from my own sisters and also be able to share my journey with others.
Love it.
I know for myself, when you hear of self-care, it's always mani-pedis and spa days and getting massages and just really expensive things. And so, as a recent grad and an entry-level employee, I realized that that's not realistic for a lot of people. And so when we talked about creating a self-care blog, I loved how we were so intentional about making sure it was inclusive. And we kind of diversify what self-care meant. So we include how spirituality is self-care, how there are routines that you can do if you have a high budget or low budget. And then lifestyle is a part of self-care. So kind of just changed the meaning of self-care, the way that we decided to do it. And I really did love that because I do realize that, I am privileged to be employed in the middle of a pandemic. And so I can some days have a mani-pedi or decide to, splurge on some food, whereas other people cannot. And I've been in positions where I could not. And so I had to just settle for like Dollar Tree candles and soaking my feet in the bathtub. And so I really do love how we just include those voices and those experiences within our blog.
Well said.
Yeah. The reason I wanted to be a part of the blog was because a lot of times I would have questions about like self-care and I didn't even realize they were self-care questions. Or as Christiana said, like as I got older, I would just realize a difference in myself and realize how I was growing as a person and professional. And a lot of the questions you would have, for example, one of them would be like, how do I love myself? Like you might not even know that you don't love yourself. And then once you do realize that you don't and you're trying to begin loving yourself, you don't really know what that journey entails. You don't really know how to go about it. And that's not something you just ask your mom or your friends or a neighbor. That's something that you kind of have to figure out a little bit on your own or learning through other people's experiences. So I think that this blog would be really great for anyone looking for those answers that aren't so easy to find, just through like communicating with each other and just sharing our experiences with each other. Even when I say each other, I mean like us as sisters and also the readers as well. And I just really want to be able to supply people with those tools to find those answers to those hard questions.
So hopefully that insight was helpful, and now you could go check out sisterlysuggestions.com. Self-care simplified.